pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone, for coming this evening. We have Councilman Nguyen, who will be Zooming in with us this evening, and he should be coming online shortly. Let's see. So today, it is Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024, and this is a special meeting today. We have 2 agenda items that we will be addressing, and so discussion will only be on the items on the agenda this evening. So, Clerk Grove, would you do roll call, please? Call to order the special meeting, and Clerk Grove, will you do roll call, please?
Councilman Skinner?
Here.
Councilman Collette?
Here.
Councilman Ansich?
Here.
And Councilman Nguyen has not yet joined us.
I make a motion to excuse.
Okay.
Second.
Motion approved, although he will be joining us. So,
Oh, he's there.
He just snuck in.
oh, good.
How do I make him?
Okay. Go down, go ahead and hit it.
He should have been on screen.
I don't know.
He's right here.
There you go. Okay. Oh, you're not good.
Technology, don't we all love it?
Okay, Jeremy should be with us, and he can come and meet. Can you hear it, Jeremy?
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Can you hear me all right? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Thank you.
Okay. We're moving on to approval of agenda. Oh, before we move on to approval of agenda, I would like to request that we move item C and address it at our next council meeting, April 17th. We are gathering more information before we move on that. So
moved.
So moved.
So moved, okay. All approve, all say yay.
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 Any opposed? Okay, so moving on. So we are moving on to public comments, and public comments are limited to agenda items only. Do I hear any public comments this evening? Hearing none, we move on to new business. New business, item A is city, just a little information, our contract services with the city of Hoquiam will be ending shortly. We are required by law and to have an attorney that can facilitate over our court and any municipal business that we have. And with that said, I did reach out to 2 other firms. I reached out to a Jennifer Zone and a Keaton DeSan Washington Mutual law firm. And at that time, they recommended the firm of Young Love and Coker as a firm that we may be interested in. So is there a motion to approve this agreement?
I make a motion to accept the agreement with the law firm of Young Love and Coker PLLC.
I second it.
Okay. Okay, is there any discussion at this time?
I have a question, Linda. So we had a training at the beginning of the year, and I forget the name of the organization that provided that training, something like WCA. I'm just wondering if you consulted with them at all.
Regarding, I'm not sure what your question is.
Regarding our legal service needs.
A legal service lease?
Needs.
Legal
Need,
service needs, yeah.
yes. So we can have attorneys, if we feel we need them, attend the council meeting. They have to preside over our court proceedings, and this was discussed.
Hmm. So is this contract predominantly to meet the legal proceedings needs or for the city council meeting needs?
It can meet both. And we have Mr. Coker here tonight if you have any questions for him.
And I can explain a little bit if anybody. All right.
Yeah, would you please just speak freely on behalf of the services that you're offering?
So I think your question with WCIA is the insuring entity that insures a lot of cities. And so where WCIA will come into play is if, let's say that something occurs where there's some exposure and maybe the city needs an investigation done or something like that, then I can sometimes reach out. Like, I represent several other cities. I represent Oakville, Montesano, Elma, McCleary. I do some backup work for Aberdeen. I do some work for Centralia, Chehalis, Napavine. I'm a hearings examiner for some of those cities. But we do the prosecutions for Montesano, Elma, McCleary, Oakville. We were the prosecutors in Shelton for about 15 years until we had to get out of it because of the court was driving us crazy, but that's a different story. And then I'm the civil attorney for Montesano, Elma, McCleary, and Oakville, and I've also done some work for Stillicum over the years. So the mayor reached out to me. I think I know Ms. Zorn. I don't know the other firm you talked to. Mayor called me, said that Steve, who I like, Steve Johnson, my experiences with him have been all good, that he was pulling the plug for reasons.
Resigning of the 15, Hopeland pulled the contract.
So with that, I talked to the mayor and said, look, my office would be willing to help out. My suggestion is still, you put this out for bid, maybe over the next couple months, to see if there's somebody better, somebody you guys like better or whatever, but I'm looking at this as kind of an opportunity to just sort of help the city transition with some things or whatever is going on. My hope is to attend via Zoom a lot of these meetings, because honestly, this is the first time I've ever been to Cosmopolis. It's a beautiful road here. But it's a little bit of a haul from Olympia. So your court is entirely Zoom. Judge there is Jacob McGee. No, it's
Arnold.
Jeff Arnold. Jeff Arnold, nice guy, know Jeff. So I don't think that'll be an issue. In fact, it'll be easy, quite frankly, because some of the courts we do already are Zoom. I have some history with police issues. I do collective bargaining for a big union we represent. I also do some collective bargaining on behalf of the cities that I do work for. So I've got a pretty wide range of experience, so, yeah.
How about with bonds?
I don't do bond work. That's a very specific, I noted that in the email I think the mayor sent me. One of the things that I exclude is bond work, because it's you either do bond work or you don't do bond work, and we don't do bond work. So that would be somebody that you guys probably have a bond attorney already, I would think.
I've been speaking with the state regarding a couple of
Okay.
our bonds.
And I know, like in some of the other cities I do some work for, we've used a bond attorney up in Seattle. Their name, I don't have it on top of my head, but I can track that down. So I do not do bond work. Yes.
So I'm seeing the hourly rate on average. Do you have an idea on how many hours you might be needing out of Cosmopolis?
A lot of it depends. So
on Oakville, for example, is a very similar contract. Some months it's pretty low, other months it's kind of high, depends on what's going on. Oakville's I think Oakville's quite a bit smaller than here. We're about 1,700 folks here. Oakville's like 500 or something. So it just really depends. I mean, if I see things getting out of hand, so to speak, or people are like, I'm putting too much time into this, I will make sure that I have some discussions, because I also monitor the bill myself. I mean, I've got other things I can do other than Cosmopolis. But I would have discussions with you. I would hope it's a limited number of hours. I mean, municipal court, once a month, it's probably, getting up to speed this month might be 2 or 3 hours, maybe. I heard the court hearing, I think there's an average of 15 to 20 cases a month, maybe. A lot of them are probably driving related, maybe a DV here or there, and that sort of thing. So that won't be a big thing. The question's gonna be civilly, sort of, these meetings, twice a month?
Well, once a month, and then we do twice a month. I can't
Workshops?
recall.
From November through, or,
During budget?
yeah,
Okay,
budget.
so for budget, and and honestly, my role in the budget stuff is, I'm a potted plant because I don't know the budget stuff. I'm not the budget guy. I look at, I assist the clerk with the timing of it, the scheduling of it, hey, are we on path to get this approved? But I wouldn't do a deep dive into the budget, because it's really not the role of the city attorney, in my opinion, to do that. So it just kind of depends. I don't have a good answer, but it depends on how much the city needs. Give you a case in point, public disclosure is a big thing, and, or it can be a big thing. When I started at some of the cities I work at, I was getting 10 calls a week on public disclosure. Well, my general answer on public disclosure is, why would we not disclose it? And that's the easy answer. All the case law on public disclosure is related to cities or entities or other governmental situations trying to avoid disclosure of things. If somebody requests something that we have, we gotta disclose it. So once the cities I represent currently kind of figured that out, my call rate went down significantly, because they knew what my answer was gonna be. So that's kind of a good example.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, hearing all yeas, we're moving on to item B. So this is the interlocal agreement with the City of Aberdeen for support services. Is there a motion to approve this agreement?
Again, I'll make the motion to accept the interlocal agreement, support services with Aberdeen.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion at this time?
Are we working on filling these positions, and is this just a temporary agreement that we were working on?
Yes, it is temporary. If you look at the packet, we're hoping, I would say by May, to have people in place, and we'll no longer need the services. I appreciate Aberdeen stepping in when they did for mutual aid, as we kind of came into a difficult period, and providing help to keep the doors open and things operating. And water, our clerk stepped right up and has been doing all the water billing, and had training from Aberdeen, pretty minimal training, because Casey's pretty amazing. But needless to say, things are operating, and we're on track. So, any other questions on it? Hearing none, do we have the yeas?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, all yeas, moving on. So, at this time, we'll move into council comments. So I open the floor to council comments. We'll start with you, Mr. Antich,
Nothing.
Mr. Colette,
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Spargo,
No comment at this time,
Mr. Skinner,
I'll go along with the rest of my councilmen.
Okay.
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Nguyen.
Nothing at this time, thank you.
We'll move on to public comments again. This is for the items on the agenda due to this being a special meeting. So it's open to public comments at this time. Please raise your hand. If you are speaking, state your name and your address. Seeing none, thank you. It's a short meeting. It's kind of refreshing, and everybody enjoy your week. Thank you for coming.
I move to adjourn.
Oh, sorry,
Movement to adjourn.
sorry. I moved to adjourn.
Kim did.
Kim
Oh.
did that.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you.
That's it, second.
Aye.
Slam that hammer.
Thank you, everyone.
Adjourned at 6:16. Well, that was, no.
Oh, thank you, Jeremy.
Jeremy needs to miss
Oh, will you please note that Jim was a no on that? Thank you. Thank you.